There are planets that watch, not with cameras or instruments, but with their entire surface, planets that look like eyes. Giant cosmic eyeballs, staring at their stars, forever, never blinking, never looking away. These are eyeball planets, and they might just be the most common habitable worlds in our entire galaxy. Imagine a planet orbiting very close to a small, cool star, a red dwarf. It's so close that the star's immense gravity locks the planet in place. One side is forced to always face the star, bathing in eternal day. The other side is turned away, plunged into eternal night. This phenomenon is called tidal locking. It's the same reason we only ever see one face of our own moon. But when this happens to an entire planet, it creates something truly strange, something deeply unsettling. The side facing the star is hot, very hot. In the right conditions, it's hot enough for liquid water. But only in a specific, circular region right at the center, the spot directly beneath the star known as the subsolar point. Here, the star's heat is intense enough to melt the ice, forming a single, vast ocean. A circular ocean, like the pupil of an eye. Surrounding this warm, dark ocean is a ring of permanent ice. A brilliant white ring, reflecting the starlight, forming what looks like an iris. And beyond that, darkness, a frozen wasteland covering the rest of the planet. It's like the white of an eye, except it's a vast expanse of black, frozen, lifeless terrain. From space, the effect is uncanny. The planet looks like a giant eye, fixed in an endless, unblinking stare at its parent star. And this isn't just science fiction. One of the prime candidates for an eyeball planet is Proxima Centauri b. It orbits Proxima Centauri, the closest star to our Sun, just 4.2 light-years away. Proxima b is in the habitable zone, the region where liquid water could exist. But its star is a red dwarf, which means Proxima b has to orbit incredibly close to stay warm. So close, in fact, that it's almost certainly tidally locked. So, if Proxima b is an eyeball planet, what would it actually be like to see it up close? The day side would feature that single, lonely ocean, maybe a few hundred kilometers across. It would be warm and liquid, but just a tiny patch of life-giving water on a mostly frozen world. This ocean would be surrounded by an endless sheet of ice, kilometers thick, stretching all the way to the terminator, the line between day and night. And beyond that terminator, the night side is a realm of absolute cold. Temperatures plummet to -100 degrees Celsius, or even colder. There's no light, no warmth, just an eternal expanse of ice and darkness. But here's where it gets even stranger: the wind. On an eyeball planet, the air above the warm central ocean heats up and rises, creating a permanent low-pressure zone. To fill this void, cold, dense air from the frozen night side rushes in. This creates perpetual, ferocious winds, blowing from all directions toward the warm center, always, forever. These aren't gentle breezes. We're talking about constant gales, hundreds of kilometers per hour, howling across the ice sheets and circling the terminator zone in massive, unending storms. Because the planet never rotates, and the day never changes, the wind never, ever stops. Could life exist in such a bizarre and hostile environment? Maybe, but it would be confined to that small, warm ocean, the pupil of the eye. The very center might be too hot, and everywhere else is far too cold. Life, if it exists, would be trapped in a narrow ring around the edge of the ocean, where the temperature is just right. It would be a world of eternal twilight, because the star would hang motionless, directly overhead, never rising and never setting. And here's the most mind-bending part: Eyeball planets aren't expected to be rare. In fact, they could be the most common type of habitable planet in the galaxy. That's because red dwarfs are the most common type of star, making up about 75% of all stars in the Milky Way. Planets found in the habitable zones of these red dwarfs are almost always going to be tidally locked, which means the galaxy could be filled with these strange, staring worlds. There's something deeply unsettling about the idea of eyeball planets. They don't rotate. They don't have seasons or cycles. They are static, frozen in time. They just stare, forever, at their stars, watching, waiting, but for what? We don't know. If you could stand on the surface of an eyeball planet, you would feel that eternal gaze. The red sun would be a fixture in the sky, never moving. The wind would howl around you without pause. Behind you, an endless expanse of ice would stretch to the horizon. And beyond that, the absolute, eternal darkness of the night side. These planets aren't dead, but they are frozen in a moment. One side perpetually burning, one side perpetually freezing, and somewhere in between, a thin, fragile ring where life might cling on, forever trapped between fire and ice, under the unblinking stare of a red sun. The universe is full of worlds that challenge our imagination, and some, like the eyeball planets, seem to watch us back from the depths of space. What other cosmic terrors are out there, waiting to be discovered? Keep watching the skies, and thank you for joining us.